The Merrifield Garden Center proudly presents Merrifield's Gardening Advisor, bringing you expert help in creating the perfect garden. Your host, Debbie Warhurst-Kapp, and gardening specialist David Yost explore the world of year-round landscaping and planting. Visit the Merrifield Garden Center nearest you. You'll find a courteous and knowledgeable staff and the best selection of bulbs, plants, shrubs, and trees. And now, Merrifield's Gardening Advisor.
Well, good morning, everybody, and welcome to Merrifield's Gardening Advisor. So glad you could join us here on your Saturday morning. Debbie's out of town today, so I'm filling in for her as host. And joining me, a couple good friends and guests on the show, Bart Windsor. Glad you could be here this morning.
David, straight in from Key North.
Okay, and Boca Joe Simone.
Hey David, how are you?
As you can see, we kind of have the beach theme going here today because our topic is really going to be tropical landscapes. Now, many of our regular viewers know Bart and Joe have been on the program a few times before, but they are exotic landscape designers, and maybe the two of you could give me a little idea of just what does that title mean, exotic landscape design?
We like to take the bananas, the palms, all the elephant ears, the canna lilies, things like that, and put them in the ground and design a garden around it. Try to get a tropical paradise in your backyard, something that you can enjoy. Tell them, Joe.
Yeah, it's pretty much about creating the look and the feel of being away on vacation. So it's a lot of fun to create this look every summer and see what you can do with it, how far you can take it.
Right, so obviously you're talking about planting bananas and palms and all these tropical plants here in the DC metro area,
right,
which you wouldn't typically associate with this kind of look.
Right.
But now we're going to turn our attention back to creating our tropical paradise. And Bart and Joe, I know you've been, like I say, you've been on the show here a few times. You've done seminars for us, and you've also, I know, been to the National Arboretum and some professional meetings and everything, trying to really promote this idea. What kind of response are you getting?
Well, it's unbelievable. I'll tell you, we've had people that have come back on the second seminar and bring us pictures and say, we were here last year, Joe, look at what I did. This is the success I had. They're so excited and so enthusiastic about this. Joe's talked to them. He's gone out to their house and taken pictures.
Yeah, I have to say a little bit was rubbed off me. You guys got me to plant a banana this spring.
Beautiful. We love that.
So it's a start.
Yeah. That's all you need is just a start.
Excellent. So, well, let's do this. Let's go ahead and just start with some of the pictures then that you've brought in to give an idea of what you can expect with this exotic landscape.
Yeah, this first shot here kind of surprises everybody. Just to give you a quick example, this was taken at Oak Street Beach in downtown Chicago last summer. Just an example of what's being done across the country. This look is spreading. And it's really kind of neat to travel around and see this happening in different cities. Next couple of slides will kind of show you what can be done in the DC area here, if we could go to those. And this actually is in my friend's yard in Chicago also, but again, another idea that you don't have to be in a tropical area to do this. The next few slides we'll run through are right here in the DC area. This next slide is from my backyard out in Germantown, Maryland.
It's Boca Key.
That's right.
Yeah, no, it's got to be taking people by surprise. I mean, when you look at that, the last thing you would be thinking about is Chicago, Maryland,
right,
places like this.
Let me tell you the advantage, the real advantage here to any of these places is all you need is warmth, sun, and some water, and these things will grow. I mean, and they grow very, very quickly. So even though Chicago does have a short growing season, you see, Chicago, get it in there and get it going. When it gets hot and blistering and humid in July and August around here, and all the spring flowers are starting to suffer and things like that, that's when these things really take off. You get dramatic effects towards the end of the summer.
Absolutely. So let's see what else is going on here. A couple other pictures.
This is not Key West. This is right here in Glen Echo, Maryland, at a friend's house. What he did with his place. Next two slides are also here in Virginia. This is a friend's yard in over near Sterling, Virginia. What he did in his backyard. This is actually a second-year shot of his garden. The second summer he's done this, so he's got tremendous results. And next photo, you can see Bart at Key North over in Manassas.
Yeah, I tell you, that is spectacular. And as you said, now this is all basically happening in one summer's growing season, right?
Right.
Yes, you can get plants right out of 4-inch pots, put them in the ground, and by the end of the summer, this is what you're going to have.
Well, and as you're talking about, where we live, I'm always saying this is a transition zone. We do have sometimes like this year, we had some pretty cold temperatures this winter, but our summertime is tropical.
Yes.
Like I said, it's hot, it's sunny, it's humid, it's warm. So you're right, we've got the tropical summer, so why not add a tropical garden? Absolutely. Well, we're going to have to take a quick break right now, but stay tuned, because when we come back, we'll start showing you how you can create these gardens in your own backyard. Thank you for joining us on Merrifield's Gardening Advisor, and if you just tuned in, we're talking about tropical landscapes today. So we've got lots of ideas here, and Bart and Joe are with me today to share some of their experience and their ideas about how you can grow bananas and cannas and elephant ears and all these palms and tropical plants in your own landscape here in the DC metro area. So with that, I was just thinking, now you guys have been doing this for quite a few years, right?
Mm-hmm.
Several years.
Yeah.
So you've been through the summers and the winters and all this kind of thing, and
Yes.
and like saying, here to testify, it can be done.
Oh, and then a lot of these things can be left in the ground. We'll talk about that a little later on. If you can get them through the winter, and they will come back.
Yeah. Well, I've seen just in your pictures and in some of your designs, I think one of the real key plants that makes this tropical look are the elephant ears, these huge foliage plants that add that dramatic look to it. So maybe you can give us a little look at some of the varieties. I don't think anybody has any idea how many options are out there, and also how to use them in the landscape and how to grow them.
Okay.
Yeah, Joe has some great pictures here for you.
Yeah, we've got the slides here. We've got several elephant ear shots, and by the way, almost all of these can be available at Merrifield Garden Center. This is one of my favorite shots here, just to show you the sheer size of these things and how big they can get in one summer. And the next couple of slides will show you a couple of different leaf colors. This is Black Magic, which is available at Merrifield. Tremendous leaves, very dark color, nice accent plant in the garden.
And one of the things I think this picture shows is, I know we're talking about the elephant ears, but the spider flower in there, the cleomia, that's one of the things I know that you've been promoting is you're using tropical plants, but you are interspersing and mixing some of these others in to give a whole different look.
There's so many annuals and perennials that people already use that absolutely fit into this scheme and get the tropical look going. I mean, any kind of lilies, daylilies, you know that they always come back. They have dramatic flowers. These things right here, that cleomia you're talking about, it reseeds itself to the point where you have to kind of go through and thin it out, pull it out by the roots, but there's so many plants.
Yeah, but I just thought that was a great color combination, and I think, like I said, bringing the elephant ears in there, like I say, you still have the same thing with the colors and the textures and everything. Just opens up a whole another avenue as far as your creativity goes.
Yeah, I think that's a big part of the drama that you create with this type of garden is combining things exactly like this. You've got something with a finer texture, and you've got the big leaves of the elephant ears.
So about what size would you say these plants are, or the leaves on this particular type?
Well, I'll tell you what, there's a picture, we don't have it here, but when Joe came over here, that happens to be there at my house in Key North in Manassas. So Joe came in there and he said, here, take a picture of me, and he stood underneath of those big Black Magic elephant ears, and one of the pictures, he looks like Mickey Mouse. I mean, they tower over his head. They really get big.
No height jokes.
Yeah, that's phenomenal. Great. Well, let's go on, because I want people to see some of the other options that are out there.
This is actually a xanthosoma, which is in the elephant ear family, but you can see it's got a bluish cast to the leaves and the stems. That's a 6-foot high fence there, so to give you an idea of the size of this thing.